It's the first day of padded practice at Steelers training camp, and Omar Khan isn't done making moves. The Pittsburgh Steelers have signed two running backs, John Lovett and Greg Bell, and they have cut running back Jason Huntley. Going to be breaking down the news for you guys here in just a second, but first, this is why you subscribe to the channel. We got breaking news updates whenever the Steelers make a move this training camp. We're going to be having training camp takeaways later on in today's show, so make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you never miss any of our training camp updates. Now let's start with the news that the Steelers have signed XFL running back John Lovett. So he played with the Vipers in the XFL last year. Okay, so 227 yards, 4.86 yards per carry last year, and 3 touchdowns in the XFL. You're bringing him in, and then also you are bringing in Greg Bell, somebody that played a little bit with the Detroit Lions last year in the training camp. He was an undrafted free agent out of San Diego State University back in 2022, so last season, and you're bringing him in as well. Now, I'm looking at these two guys, and I'm saying, these are probably guys that might not make the roster, right? These are definitely fill-in type players, kind of bargain bin type of signings, and the Steelers opted to not go for the bigger signing here like some Steelers fans were expecting. Now, let me know what you guys think about these two guys down in the comments section. Which one do you think has a better shot at making the final 53-man roster this year? Do you think it's John Lovett, type JL, or do you think it's Greg Bell? Give me a GB if you think it's him. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. All right, and then, the reason why these moves were made was because the Steelers had a couple of releases here, some players that won't be playing with the Steelers this year, starting with Jason Huntley, someone that was on the practice squad last year for the Steelers, has been released to make room for these guys. And then also Alfonzo Graham, the undrafted free agent this year, came in, had a really good OTA and minicamp period, and even some people were saying he might challenge Anthony McFarland for that third running back spot on the 53-man roster. On Saturday's practice, he fell during the 7-on-7 drill period, and he's now out for the season with a torn labrum. He was seen at practice on Sunday with a sling, and he will be out for the year. So the Steelers needed to make two moves at the running back position, and they brought in John Lovett and Greg Bell here to fill those two roles here on this team, and it's definitely pretty darn interesting. So, it definitely sucks that Alfonzo Graham is going to be out for the season. If you want to wish him a speedy recovery here, go ahead and type his number 29 for me down there in the comments section. The show number 29, some love. And then in some other Steelers news here, we have a retirement from an undrafted free agent that hasn't even played a snap in the National Football League. Fullback Monty Pottybaum out of the University of Iowa retired from football on Sunday. The rumor is he's going to go pursue a higher degree in his chosen field. I believe it was in the medical field. And I'm looking at Monty, and it's probably the case that he was just a little bit too overwhelmed with the talent that was on the field. It just wasn't really for him, and he decided that he wanted to take his life in another direction. Certainly wish him the best in his future endeavors. I know we would have probably loved to see that golden mullet on Steelers game days this year as the Steelers fullback. But it's definitely driving a little bit of speculation as to what the Steelers might do at the fullback position this year. Some people have suggested to bring back Derek Watt. I mean, seriously, you look at last year, 9 carries, 21 yards. He had a touchdown last year, and of course, he's been the Steelers fullback for many years at this point. You would reunite him with TJ. It's a family affair. We love that, but I just don't think that's going to happen because Matt Canada doesn't really carry a fullback, doesn't really use a fullback in his offense, and I think in those situations where he wants to go to a fullback, Connor Hayward is going to be that guy that he turns to fill that role. Now, Hayward is mostly a tight end. That's where he's going to be playing mostly this year. Might play a little running back for the black and gold this year as well. But if Matt Canada wants to go to a set there, maybe like on the goal line or whatever with a fullback in there, that's where Derek would play when he played last season, is usually in those goal line and those short yardage situations. That's where I think Connor's going to be that guy that ends up lining up for Matt Canada and the Steelers offense in those short area situations, and I don't think they're going to end up signing another fullback this period. So coming up here, I'm going to tell you what these signings mean for the Steelers running back room in 2023. But first, check out our friends at Fanatics, and they've got a great t-shirt combo for you guys on their website right now, just in time for the 2023 season. If you need to restock on your Steelers gear for this 2023 campaign, go to chatsports.com/Steelers combo. And listen, I really like these two t-shirts that you could choose from here. I really like that short sleeve black with the helmet on there, and then the long sleeve white t-shirt I think is really forgiving for these hot summer months. So go ahead right now, use our link, chatsports.com/Steelers combo, to let Fanatics know that your friends at Chat Sports sent you today. So let's talk about the Steelers running back room now. After these two signings, you add John Lovett and Greg Bell to this group. And now I still think that Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren are for sure your top two guys. That's going to be your combo for the start of the season. And then I think Anthony McFarland is probably going to be that reliable backup option. He's had a really good camp to this point. So I think Bell, Lovett, and Darius Hagans are all going to have an uphill battle to make the final 53-man roster. And with these kind of bargain bin type of signings, some people have been asking, why didn't the Steelers sign a bigger name? There's still some pretty darn good running backs out there on the open market. Why not bring somebody like a Kareem Hunt in, somebody like an Ezekiel Elliott, who could potentially play like a fullback position or even a Leonard Fournette? All of these guys could still probably play a little bit of football here going on into their careers. They're no longer number one guys, in my opinion, but if you bring them in, you could probably put, especially Ezekiel Elliott, at fullback. I can certainly see why some people thought that was the case with him. And then with Kareem Hunt as well, you know, he's had some pretty darn good years in the National Football League. He led the league in rushing back in 2017. He's been a very reliable second option for the Cleveland Browns over the course of his career. And then, you know, moving forward here, I think he would be a pretty decent running back 3 if you don't believe in Anthony McFarland and you want to have that really reliable third piece behind Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. And then also Leonard Fournette is the same way. He's somebody that's played in the playoffs. He won a Super Bowl as a number 1 running back option in this league. And I'm looking at all three of these guys, and I can understand why some Steelers fans wanted to add these guys to the roster. They've played in this league before. They've done well in this league before. But the thing is, I just don't think that these guys would even take close to a running back 3 role in this league at this point. They want to get on the field. They want to play. And I think that the Steelers are opting for those bargain bin options because Pittsburgh likes the guys that they have. They have Najee Harris. They have Jaylen Warren. Anthony McFarland has been looking really freaking good in camp, so they feel like they don't need to add any of those guys. And then also they don't want to spend anything more than the minimum. They want to save that cap space this year for other players in case there's a trade, in case there's a free agent that they really want to add here coming up here. And I definitely think that these signings are just pretty much to be placeholders, because I think that you look at the guys that the Steelers have, I think that they're going to run with the 3 guys at the top of their depth chart right now. And for me, I am perfectly fine with that. Now, that will be it for today's news segment, but go ahead and click that subscribe button because you need to come back later because we're going to have 2 videos for you today. We have this breaking news video for you now, and then also I'm going to be giving my takeaways after the first padded practice for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Starts at 2 p.m. today, and I'm super excited for that, man. I cannot wait for those pads to get on and for things to get real. So make sure you click that subscribe button and then turn on your notifications as well so you know when that video comes out later this evening. Really do appreciate all the support, guys. I will see you guys later. And as always, here we go, Steelers.